Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the fourth video I'll be doing on System Center Configuration Manager training. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to install and configure the public key infrastructure with Active Directory Certificate Service. To be able to continue with this training and configure our configuration manager, so we're going to be needing the certificate service, which we'll be using for our web server and also for our workstation authentication. So to be able to install the certificate service, we're going to be doing that actually in our domain server. So we need to click the add roles and future, or we can just click here the manage and then click add roles and future. So here you see before you begin, I can also skip this by default and then click next. So it's going to be a role based or a future based installation. So click next. And here click next and accept the server. If you have a different server, you can select that server. Just click next, and here it says we're going to be installing the Active Directory Certificate Service. So click the Active Directory Certificate Service and add all the roles and feature wizards. So click add, and then here click next. So on the features, just click next, and here it says by the Active Directory Certificate Service, click next. So here we just only need the certification authority. The other roles we don't actually need them. So just select just the certification authority and then click next. Then says restart. Actually, it's going to restart if it is necessary. So just click install. So this is going to install the certification authority. So I'm going to pause this video and come back again when the installation has been complete. So after the feature installation complete, what we need to do, we need to configure the Active Directory certificate service on the destination server. So just click on this, and here it says specify credentials to configure role service. So we're going to use these credentials because Calvin Johnson is a domain admin. So just click next. Here we're going to actually just select the certification authority, and then we're going to click next. So we're going to be using the enterprise CA. So click next. Here is going to also be the root CA. So create a new private key. So we don't want to use this use an existing private key. So we're actually creating a new private key. And here we're going to I'm just going to select the default crypto provider that has been selected, and I'm just going to leave it on the 256 shard and then click next. The CNAME is going to be Calv Global Brussels. That's the domain or the domain name of this server, and you can see the distinguished name surface is going to be the DC Calv Global, then this is .com, and the preview of the distinguished name is going to be the following. So just click next. And for the validity period, we're going to select 5 years, but we have to select month, or you can change it to a different like 3 or 2 years if you wish. So I'm just going to say next. And here this is going to be the database location where all the database certificate will be saved. So click next, and then we can just configure. So it says the configuration completed successfully. So when I click close, and then I can close this. Go back again, and here we can go to tools, and under tools we can click the certification authority. So it is from the certification authority here we're going to configure all our certificates we'll be using. But let me just minimize this and bring up a slide and show you what we are going to be configured. So first of all, we're going to need 4 certificate templates we will need to configure on this server. So let me bring up a slide that will explain the 4 certificate templates we need to configure on this server. First of all, we're going to configure a web server certificate. So this certificate template will be used for any server that hosts one of our HTTP SCCM roles. And if there is a server that is a management point, a distribution point, or a software update point, all these actually use the IIS as the mechanism for transferring your information to other machines or to other client devices. So to set this to HTTPS and use authentication, we will need a web server certificate template and a web server certificate on any of this machine. So this certificate is a basic certificate that does not allow for the export of its private key. But to allow the export of its private key, which of course we're going to also need that, we're going to create a second web server template, which is called a web server with private key certificate template. So we also need this second template that do support the export of the private key, just like the first one, which is the web server, which does not support the export of the private key. And when we are later creating a cloud-based distribution point, which exists in Microsoft Azure, the mechanism that will import in that certificate is done not actually through the usual process inside Microsoft Windows, but that process involves entering a file into a web page. And also we have to have a certain kind of certificate that also include the private key. For this reason, we need to have this web certificate that will allow the export of its private key. And thirdly, we also need a workstation authentication template. This template will allow and will automatically enroll any desktop or let's say like laptops or client devices that is joined to Active Directory. So anyone that is going to be an SCCM client will get a workstation authentication certificate, and this will be done using group policy. I'm going to show you how to configure that in a subsequent or next video. But mind you, this workstation authentication template does not support the export of a private key. So that is the reason why we also need the fourth certificate template, which of course is going to support the export of a private key. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to actually configure this certificate and then enroll this certificate to our web server. And I'm also going to create a video how we can actually auto enroll this certificate to our client devices, because if you are working in a company whereby you have like thousands of machines, you will not want to be doing this manually. You have to be doing it using the group policy management. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos on SCCM, and if for example I create a new video, you'll be the first to get an alert on this video I'm doing. Thank you very much, and please just click the next video to watch how to configure and manage the workstation or the server web server certificate I'll be creating. So if you know how to actually configure this certificate, you can as well skip this video and go to the next one. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video. Bye.